We have what I think is a pretty good story today, better title, and some pretty good music. This isn't two stories, I just have one story. If I were going to yap about something else, I might do a quick update on the Post local, right? That's the email. It's got the links to stories from the Washington Post. They ran one of my pictures. The pictures they've been running lately from readers are pictures of kids on their first day of school because 'tis the season. Get ready for your daily, if not weekly, dose of cuteness because this is little Liliana. I saw this morning, and is she not the cutest thing? She's 6 years old. She's starting her first day of first grade up in Maryland. Is she not the cutest? My only question is why is school starting now, right? College football began last weekend, and I don't mean practicing, I mean actually televised games were last weekend. Around here, some districts, Virginia, Maryland, DC, they started mid-August, late August. Back in the day, in the horse and buggy, school started the Tuesday after Labor Day. You're off all summer long, right? And then you have the last weekend of summer, the holiday weekend. You're off Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day. And then you start school on Tuesday, the Tuesday after Labor Day. And the best part is that your first week is a shortened week. When did that happen? Huh, Liliana? Anyway, we have a good story. Stand by for some double vision. So if you want to hear and see some classic rock, what do? Where do you go? Well, for some, you get in the car, you drive up and down the parkway along the Jersey Shore, and you take in a concert. You cover a concert. Others might do what I do. What I do is I go to the TV. And not just any station, I go to the PBS, the public broadcasting. They've been running a lot of concerts, a lot of classic rock concerts as pledge drives. They almost always have the Simon and Garfunkel from Central Park from 100 years ago. Lately, they've had some good ones. They've had the Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do, Got to Do. She has a lot of hits. That was a good show. They also had the Peter Frampton, I Want You, Show Me the Way. They even had one with Bruce. It just debuted like a week ago. It was a Bruce concert without any Bruce. It was for his album, Nebraska. A guy had written a book about the making of the album. So he was there as sort of like the MC. He would like read a couple of pages from his book, and then some other artist would come on to do one of Bruce's songs. A Bruce concert without Bruce. Not my idea. The reason for the video is a concert which I was interested in that I saw was Foreigner. Okay, I like Foreigner. It was called Foreigner Then and Now. I sit down and a bunch of guys come out and they do some of the songs. Maestro. Okay, so two things. When a band from the 70s, 80s comes out, two questions. One is, what do the guys look like? And second, who's in the band? Now, if I said the Beatles, right, after Pete Best, we know who's in the Beatles until they break up. We know who's in and we know what they look like. And you could say the same thing for the Monkees. The Monkees were a made-up band, but because they had their own TV show, we know what they look like. Simon and Garfunkel, of course, we still know what they look like, even though they broke up years ago. I could identify members of the Doobie Brothers because they're recently, I saw them on a concert on TV. The Beach Boys, they have the different touring iterations. I could identify some of them. And of course, Billy Joel, he just did his residency from Madison Square Garden. Saw that, loved that, and I could recognize members of his band. But Foreigner, who's in the band? What did they look like? When the guys came out, it's a bunch of old guys and young guys, and they sounded just like I remember them. But is that them? Is that the real Foreigner? I don't know. And interesting, if you go back to, and this is what I did as the concert's on, I was curious, because I don't know what they look like, I Googled their album covers, and many of their, the first one, of course, is this one, which tells you nothing of what they look like now. But many of their other albums didn't feature members of the band. It was just random other pictures. So the band comes out, old and young members, they play some of their hits, and then something interesting happens.
I want you to join me in welcoming the guys that started it all with the song that started it all. Would you please welcome the original members of Foreigner?
So the manager introduces the original members of Foreigner, and they do some songs. So after the original Foreigner did their set, they did a bunch of songs, then the young guys came back out and they did some songs together. So I had a couple of questions. First, I thought the idea was neat, that there's the original guys and there's the new guys, and yet they play together and they seem to play nice together. My big question is, if they have the original Foreigner, why do they need the new Foreigner, new and improved? Now, the singer from the new Foreigner, he said we're the super Foreigner together.
We got Super Foreigner up here now. 1 + 2 = super.
And it brings to mind, you know, when you have a successful Broadway show, Hamilton, then you've got all the touring companies, which of course doesn't have the original cast, but you get to see the play with different players. So I guess bands go through different iterations. I'm most familiar with Bruce. For the last 49 years, since Born to Run, their third album, it's been the same core members played. 2 died, and they were replaced. One of them was the sax player, Clarence Clemens, who was replaced by his nephew, Jake Clemens. And then the organ player died, Danny Federici died. And then Little Steve, the guitar player, he left for a while, and Bruce brought on another player, Niels Lofgren. And then Steve came back, but Bruce kept Niels, but they all play together now. 2 of the original members from Foreigner have since died. And throughout the years, some would tour, some would leave, do other projects, come back and tour. I guess that's just the way they go. I'll leave you with a factoid of how the group Foreigner got their name. Originally, they decided on the name Trigger, because why would the name of a dead horse be a bad omen? Because of the original 6 members, 3 were American and 3 were British. They decided, regardless of where they were touring, either here or overseas, then at least 3 would be foreigners. True fact. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, right here on the YouTube.
Ta-ta for now.